What's going on, everybody? This is Everett with Redux Movement, and in this video we will cover that full body, no equipment necessary warm-up I was discussing in the previous video of this series. That video was for shoulders and upper body. Now, we had used those tiny little exercise bands. Again, they're very cheap, but some people don't have them. You might travel and find yourself without them. And other people, let's face it, if you're just doing basic exercising, maybe you're a little older, you don't really need to go out and spend, even if it's 10 bucks, okay? So before we get started, thank you for liking and commenting on the previous videos in this series. It helps me out a lot, gives me ideas for new videos down the road, so please continue to keep that up. And again, if you want to further support the channel, check out my website for programs and my hip mobility e-course. But until then, let's go ahead and get started on this full body warm-up. So starting off this warm-up, we have a brand new move I invented. They're called jumping jacks. Obviously, I'm kidding, but jumping jacks are simple, great way to just warm up the body generally. Watch what your knees and your toes are doing and try to get full range of motion at the shoulders and the hips. I'd start out with 20 of these. After that, we're gonna move to leg swings. Bend your knee when you need to and try to keep a pretty tall spine, tailbone to base of the neck. I would do 10 per side here. Try to increase the range of motion, a little bit of momentum, but still good neutral spine position. After that, we're gonna move to side swings. Same stuff, try to swing just at the hip, bend your knee when you need to. When you're across the body, try to have that toe pointing towards the ceiling. 10 per side, make sure you hold on to something. You'll be more stable and get a full range of motion. Obviously, this is a good idea to check side-to-side differences as well. So you might feel one hip or one glute is much tighter. You know, maybe something you need to watch out for in that next workout so you don't go too heavy. After this, mountain climbers, good solid plank position, hips slightly below the shoulders. I would do 20 per side here. Not all out, but make them a little quick. You should have a little shortness of breath after you get done with these. Bicycle crunches. If you have low back issues, skip these. If you don't, they're a great way to work your abs, get a little rotation and flexion going. You can see I'm getting a pretty full extension of the knee, good rotation. You can slow these down, just make sure they're full reps. Once again, 20 per side, 20 long count. After this, basic side-to-side hops. Keep these small but quick. Your heels should just barely touch the ground as you make contact. Mostly toes. Once again, watch your toes, your knees, and again, 20 left to right here. Moving on to some hip work. So I went from a plank to a lunge. You can see my knee is over my ankle. Knee is pointing in the same direction as the middle toes, and I've got a pretty neutral spine going on. I'm just rotating towards the side. I'm lunging, pressing my fingertips to the ceiling, and then seeing if I can go a little lower as I go back through. If you can't touch your elbow, don't force it, don't round your back too much. This will increase as you do this warm up over the next days, weeks, months. So I would do 5 to 10 per side here, and you can alternate. Next, we're gonna do essentially elongated mountain climber. I'm still maintaining that good single leg squat position with that front leg in the lunge. Once again, 10 per side. Cat cows, pretty common yoga movement. We're gonna do 5 cats, 5 cows. In case you don't know, cat is the rounding of the back, cow is the arching of the back. So I've done these on all fours. There's other modifications, but we're gonna do these in the quadruped position because we have more quadruped positions coming up next. You can see I'm trying to do a wave. A lot of people just move at one point in their spine. It looks like a lot of movement, but they're missing segments. So I'm trying to go tailbone all the way up every vertebrae from lumbar, thoracic, even cervical, getting everything moving. I'm using my muscles to pull myself and push myself in each direction. After this, we're gonna do 5 circles with one hip forward and then 5 circles backwards. As large a circle as you can handle, but you can notice my torso isn't moving that much. So I've got some air in my stomach. I'm using my abs to kind of clench down my torso, gripping the ground with my fingertips. If that makes the circle smaller, that is totally fine. 5 forward, 5 backwards, both sides. Donkey kick, using the hip to pull the knee to the chest and then squeezing the glute to kick the heel to the ceiling. I'm keeping about a 90-degree bend in each knee. And again, my back isn't arching or rounding like that cat cow. I'm tight. 10 per side, make sure you do them right. Go a little slower if you have to. After this, we're gonna be doing a relatively straight leg. My hamstrings are pretty tight from a deadlift workout, so I've got a good bend in my knee, but I'm just doing adduction and abduction of the hip. I'm pretending I'm sliding my toes along a coffee table so they're staying relatively even, and I'm going out and in is 1 rep, 10 reps per side. Lateral raises, these are pretty bad. Try to keep your chest and your belly button facing the ground. Tighten up your entire body. Once again, air in the stomach, tight abs, and lift off 10 times. This is a modified version, a fire hydrant. So once again, 10 reps per side, a little easier, taking the straight leg out of the equation. And again, both sides, you'll notice pretty dramatic differences left to right. Moving on to some quick and easy abs and core work, we're just gonna do 5 very controlled full sit-ups, and then we're gonna move to the lower side of the equation with the legs, and we'll do hip lifts. So we have 2 variations here, straight knees. I'm gonna pull my feet, my legs up, then do a little hip lift. You can use your hands on the floor if that helps. Second version is a little easier. I'm just gonna pull those knees and feet straight in and then pushing straight up. So whatever's easier for you, or you can mix them. So 5 and 5 there. After that, side plank. So I've got straight knees, my shoulders back and underneath, and my elbow is directly underneath my bottom shoulder. And we're just gonna dip the hips straight down to the floor. No rotation, make sure you go all the way up. We'll do 7 per side here, 5 to 10, usually I like 7. After that, thread the needle. So you can see I'm rotating at my bottom shoulder. I've covered this in some of my other videos for abs and core movements and even shoulder warm-up movements as well. My arms are parallel when I rotate through. It's like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me and my chest is facing the ground. So don't just cheat and move your arm, move the entire torso. And now we'll bridge the gap from the abs and core warm-up to the shoulder warm-up. I'm in a plank and I am retracting and protracting my shoulder blades or my scapulas. You can do this on all fours, the quadruped position, or in a plank. If you do it in the plank, make sure the plank is tight, the back doesn't arch, and you have straight elbows. Pinch the shoulder blades together so they touch behind the back, and then push the floor away with the shoulder blades or the upper back if that helps you, but it will be the shoulder blades that move. Perform 10 reps up and down. Next, we have another plank / shoulder movement. So we've got a little wider stance. Really use your leg muscles to dig the feet into the ground, and you're trying not to move back and forth at all. You're just gonna take one hand, say the right hand, and then touch the opposite shoulder. 10 reps, each side, really tight the entire time. Looks simple, pretty difficult. And now onto our first movement exclusively for shoulders. These are wall slides, so get as much of your body up against the wall as you can. Heels, glutes, upper back, get your shoulders nice and even, and then do 10 reps sliding straight up and down. Try to keep the backs of your hands and your elbows on the wall. Get good full extension at the top. You can see on that last rep, I actually pulled my ribs down with my abs, kind of like I was doing a plank. That will make it harder because you won't be able to arch your low back as much. Next, we're just gonna do basic arm swings, side to side. These are called chain breakers. Big movements, nice and relaxing. Right over left, left over right, 10 solid reps. From here, if we can, we'll go tight fists, big circles, 10 forward, and then really easy, 10 backwards. So try to get more and more motion. Try not to cheat and arch the low back as you go backwards. Pretty tight neutral abs. After this, we're gonna move into corkscrews. So this is a little internal, external rotation training. So you can see it's not just my wrists or elbows that are moving, it's my shoulders. And you can see that because the inside of my elbows or my biceps are moving up and down. So get nice and tall, rotate internally and externally each side once, that's 1 rep. So do 10 here as well. Now reverse lunges for the legs. So you can see I lunged backwards, my knee is stacked right on my ankle, and I just rubbed the sides of my ribs. You don't just want to lean over. Most people kind of kink at one spot in their low back. It actually won't feel that good. So you want to think about stretching up, stretching the shoulder away from the hip. Then once you have a stretch up, then bend over. Try to elongate and make a nice long curve from the armpit to the hip. So once again, 5 per side. Obviously you can do more or less here, but just solid lunge, nice even hips, and again, reach and then lean. Any good lower body warm up will include some sort of squat variation. So here we're doing toe squats or high heel squats. I'm gonna squat down and I'm on my toes when I do that, and then I'll drop to my heels at the bottom, go back up to my toes and stand up. So just think, toes, squat, heels, toes, stand up. Very important when you're at the bottom of that squat is to stretch the calf and the ankle by dropping the heels. Don't just lean the body like that. So you can see my butt tipped backwards, my chest dropped. I'm not actually increasing the range of motion of my calves or my ankles or building up any more control. So again, toes, nice even pressure between the ball of the foot, pinky toe and big toe. and then sit the heels down. Try to freeze the upper body so we're stretching the calves. 10 reps here, nice and slow. Here we have a little squat medley progression. 5 squats, straight up and down, good solid position. Heels in line with shoulders. Overhead squats, really use the upper back to pull those hands up. Let the knees go forward a little bit more than a normal squat to keep the torso upright. 5 reps here. And then finally, 5 reps of jumping squats. So good jump based on your ankle and knee health. You really want to land on the toes like you're trying to be quiet or like you're jumping on eggshells, very soft landing. Obviously those are pretty quick, so you can add reps or drop reps, even do 2 sets there. For the final segment of this warm up, we'll work on a little bit of cardio, really get the body warm, get the heart rate up. So this looks ridiculous, it's really tough. I've got my iPhone there, I just set 30 seconds and I'm sprinting with my arms as big and as fast as I possibly can for 30 seconds. Try it and really go all out, be honest with yourself, it is tough. So I've got my left leg forward here. You would do another set of 30 seconds, right leg forward. You can see I'm slowing down quite a bit. If you don't like this or it's too tough for you, just do the initial general warm-up that we did at the beginning of this sequence, the mountain climbers, the bicycle crunches, the jumping jacks, a second time in lieu of this. So I hope that warm-up gives you a lot of direction and a template to go off of. The most important thing is that you consistently warm up before you exercise. Again, if you're older, just doing those movements daily, twice a day, can be really beneficial for you. So mix it up, go a little heavier on some sections of it, maybe drop off some moves, shorten it, lengthen it, do whatever you need to do. It's not set in stone. The big picture here is you need to be warming up, and a lot of people just don't have a routine, so they skip it entirely. So thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Spread this around and see you in the next video.